So you've heard a lot about Magic, you've picked your format, and you want to know what some of these cards can actually do. Well, I can't go through all the rules of Magic, but I can definitely go through one player's turn. In the time it takes for you to warm some soup, it's Bite Size MTG. The current Magic the Gathering downloadable rules document is 288 pages long, so forgive me if I condense or generalise. If you're looking to learn the rules to become a judge or play at a tournament, I would advise you look elsewhere. This is bite-sized after all. Cards at the ready, it's time to start. It's worth noting that you start the game with 7 cards in your hand. The stack of cards left, 53 if you're playing a 60 card deck, is known as your library. And when you get rid of cards, they go into your graveyard. Once you have drawn 7 cards, if you don't like them, you can choose to shuffle them back into your library and draw 7 new ones. However, if you do this, you'll have to put one of those 7 cards on the bottom of your library as a tax on this extra choice. This is known as a mulligan. We're playing a 1v1 standard format game, so no funny business here. A player's turn is broken down into 5 phases. Each phase is broken down into steps, of which there are 12 in total. Let's go through the phases. Beginning phase, pre-combat main phase, combat phase, post-combat main phase, ending phase. Lovely. A double cheeseburger of main phases and a logical beginning and end phase bun with a combat phase nestled in the middle. Let's go through the steps and what the phases mean. Beginning phase. This comprises of an untap step, an upkeep step and a draw step. This phase starts your turn off with any effects that activate at the beginning of your turn. You also get to turn all of your sideways cards the right way up. Lastly, we get to draw that all-important card. This gives us the spells and land we need to play and win the game. Remember that when you attack with a creature, use an ability that shows this symbol, or generate mana from a land, you turn those cards sideways, also known as tapping, which is how they will remain, unless a spell says otherwise, until your next untapped step. Then the pre-combat main phase. This is the first of the 2 main phases, and main phases are the only times that you can cast all varieties of spells. Artifacts, creatures, enchantments, planeswalkers, instants and sorceries, as well as playing the 1 land for that turn. Instant spells can also be cast at any other time, including on other people's turns. Into the combat phase. This comprises of a beginning of the combat step, declare attacker's step, declare blocker's step, combat damage step, and end of combat step. A lot going on here, and rightly so. It's the only opportunity for your creatures to fight and hopefully deal damage to your opponent, and would be the main method of winning the game. The steps enable a clear system of manipulating combat with offensive and defensive spells. Then post-combat main phase. The second of the main phases, it gives you another opportunity to play those spells and either capitalise on a successful combat phase or possibly try to recover. Lastly, the ending phase, comprising of end step and cleanup step. This is where you finish those at the end of your turn abilities or triggers and gives your opponent one last chance to play any instant speed spells before their turn. And that's it. Simple. 12 steps in a turn. Now grab yourself a deck and start playing. As with any of these bite-sized videos, there are loads of other things you'll need to consider, and we do not cover every rule. So we advise grabbing a friend that knows the rules or watching as many different videos as you can to grasp the more complex elements of play. Thanks for watching, don't forget to check out our other videos and like and subscribe to show your support.